I'm going to show you how to set up Java with Windows. So the first thing you need to do is you need to download Java. Now, not just any Java, you actually need the JDK, which stands for the Java Development Kit. And in the Development Kit, there's some tools that we're going to use to compile programs. So what you want to do is just go to Google and just type in Java JDK download. Now look for the Oracle website. So the first one that came up for me was the Oracle website. I'm going to click this. From here, you'll see different versions of Java. You can go ahead and download the latest one. So go to the Oracle JDK. For Windows, it's best to just download the installer. So just scroll down until you find the installer, which is right here. Go ahead and click that file, download it. And when after you download it, go ahead and run it, accept all the defaults, and you should be good to go. And then there's a few more things that we got to do to configure it to work correctly. I already have it on my computer, so I'm not going to do that step. So once you have Java installed, you need to find the path of where it was installed. So go ahead and go to your file browser and then look for your C drive and then go under Program Files and then click on Java. Here I have a list of all the things that I have installed for Java. So go ahead and click on the last one that you downloaded. So there should be the JDK 16. Click on the bin folder. Now inside this bin folder, you'll see all the tools that we're going to use to compile and run Java programs. So go ahead and copy this path. So just kind of click up here, make sure it's highlighted, right click and copy. We're going to put this path into our environment variables. Now to get to your environment variables, go down to your search bar, type in View Advanced System Settings. And then from here, you want to make sure you're on the Advanced tab and then click on Environment Variables. Now the environment variable you want to edit is your system path variable. So look for system variables and then go to path. Double click on this. It's going to open up. It's going to give you a list of your system environment variables. You want to paste in that path right here. In order to do that, you're going to have to click on new and then add it right here. I already have it edited. Another thing you need to be careful with is you already have a Java path installed. Maybe one of the programs that you downloaded installed a Java path somewhere in here. It's best just to delete that and just put your own path in here. Once you've done that, press OK, 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 and then go to your command prompt, CMD. And now we're going to make sure that we actually have Java installed. So go ahead and type Java-version. It's going to give you the version number of your JRE. So we have version 16. That's what we set up in our environment variable. Now also type Java C-version. And then you're going to get the version of that. So we have the Java command and we have the Java C command. The Java C command is what we're going to use to compile Java programs. And the Java command is what we're going to use to run Java programs. Now that we have Java installed on our Windows machine, we're going to want a program that we can type our code into that's going to mark it up and make it look nice. Now there are some programs out there like IntelliJ and Eclipse that do a lot for us, but those programs are actually way more advanced than we need for an entry-level Java class. So my recommendation is Notepad++ because it is free. So once you've come to the Notepad++ site, go ahead and click on the latest version and then download the version that you need. There's a 32-bit version and there's a 64-bit version. I have the 64-bit version installed on my computer. So go ahead and download the installer and install the program onto your computer. Once you have Notepad++ installed on your computer, go ahead and open it up. And in here is where we're going to type in our Java code. Now, in order for this to actually mark up our code, we're going to need to save our file as a Java file. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just click Save As. I'm going to save to my desktop. That way it's easier for me to find. I'm going to go ahead and make a folder in here called Java. And I'm going to make my first program. I'm going to call this one First Program. I'm going to save this as a Java source file. So scroll down until you see Java source file, hit save. Now we can go ahead and start typing our code. So the first thing that we need is our class header. So public class and then the name of our class. Now the name of our class has to match the name of our file exactly. So that means that you need to make sure if you use a capital F for first or capital P for program, the class name also has the capitals that match. So Java is case sensitive, so capitalization does matter. And then you need the header for your main method, which is public. static void main, and then string array arguments. Until we start talking about writing our own objects, all our programs are going to be fairly simple. They're going to consist of a class header and the header for the main method. And all we're going to do is just put statements inside this main method. We'll have multiple statements inside of here. But for our very first program, we're going to do something simple. We're just going to write something out to the console. So in order to write something to the console, you're going to use system.out, which is essentially just an object that it represents our output console. And then we're going to type the method print line. Now I know I said print line, but that right there, that is actually an L and a lowercase n. So this is a lowercase L and a lowercase n. So that's the print line method. And we're going to print out what we call a string literal. So we need 2 double quotes, and then whatever we type within those 2 double quotes is going to be outputted to our console. So I'm just going to type hello world, and I'm going to put a semicolon at the end of this, and I'm going to hit Control S to save. Now in order to run this program, I need to go back to command prompt. So I need to go into the folder where my Java file is saved. Now I know my folder is off my desktop, so I'm going to go into my desktop, but my path to the folder might not match yours. I know that on Windows you have the option to save things to OneDrive, so maybe your desktop is off your OneDrive, but as soon as I open my command prompt, I could just type desktop, and I'm going to put slash and then Java. So that's the path to my Java folder. Now in order to go inside of the Java folder, I need to type CD in front of this path. Okay, so CD means change directory. Directory is just another name for a folder. So I'm basically saying change directory into desktop Java. I'm going to press enter. And now that I'm inside of this folder, I can type the command dir, and you can see my Java program. Now in order to compile this Java program, my first Java program right here, I'm going to type the command javac and then first Java program. Okay, now I'm going to type dir, and now you can see that there's an additional file here called firstprogram.class. That is the bytecode that got generated. That bytecode is going to be interpreted by my JRE. So in order to have my JRE run this, I'm going to type the command java and just the name of the class, which is first program. You don't need the .class at the end. I'm going to press enter, and then you can see the output, hello world. Now, what do you do if you run into errors? So we could run into some errors here, like just say if we forgot our semicolon, and we come back over here and we want to compile this program. So we're going to attempt to compile this program, and it's telling me that there's an error. Expected a semicolon is telling me on line 3, right? Saying first program.java 3. That's line 3. I come over to line 3, and it's kind of just, it's giving me the hint like there should be a semicolon right here. Okay. Some other mistakes that students make is like maybe they forget to put in the double quotes. So if I were to save this program without the double quotes around the hello world, you'd see what happens, compile, and I have all these kind of errors. This can kind of be overwhelming for some students because they're unfamiliar with Java, but it is telling you what line number it's occurring on, all these 3 errors. So just be careful when you're typing out things to the console. It does need to be a string, so we indicate the string literal with double quotes. So make sure you have all of these things here, because if there's anything wrong with your syntax, the compiler is going to be upset at you. And when you're first starting out, I know for some students, like it can be overwhelming for them to see some errors that they're unfamiliar with.